thinking about this one for a while. Hello and welcome into the Knicks-Verse. Man, I think we'll be thinking about this game for quite a while. We do travel to Oklahoma City, and we are going to play them soon, I think in the next couple of weeks or so. But this game will be looked at a lot because I actually think these are the two teams that are going to end up in the NBA Finals. This was an NBA Finals preview. Now, why did the NBA decide to schedule this game, their first meeting of the season, on the game 2 of back-to-backs for both teams? Is kind of ridiculous. It's pretty idiotic, NBA. All that said, it was a really, I mean, it's a bummer of a loss from a Knicks standpoint, from me as a fan, but it was a pretty fun game to watch. It was a battle. It was the Knicks hosting, they're battling the Oklahoma City Thunder and the referees. And they still managed to make it close. 103-100. They even had the lead early in that fourth quarter. But when you're battling referees and you're battling scheduling issues, this kind of stuff happens. I don't believe that you can take too much away from this game in terms of anything negative about the team. I think it's all positive. There are some weaknesses. OKC did attack Karl Anthony Towns a lot on the defensive end. He ended up fouling out, but also it was because of poor foul calling, uneven foul calling by the referees that occurred. This was the second game of a back-to-back, but last night OKC rested both Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Isaiah Hartenstein. Knicks were full strength last night, and they rested Mitch tonight. That was a choice that Coach Brown made, and I agree with it because Toronto is a conference rival. I think a division rival as well. So you want to pick up those wins, and this was going to be a tough battle regardless. But you have to wonder if Mitch Robinson had been available, how different this game could have been. Because it wasn't Shai that really cooked us. Yes, he ended up getting his numbers. He ended up hitting the game, what ended up being the game-winning 3. While OG he overreacted to Shai Gilgeous' stab into the paint. He just stepped back, hit a 3, and nailed it, and that was the 103rd point, and that was the difference in the game. But it was Chet. Chet killed us. Chet hit 6 of 8 from the 3-point line in the first half. He tied his career high. He was unbelievable offensively in this game. He did slow down. I didn't think he was going to continue doing that for the whole game. He did slow down. And the Knicks ended up, they could only put up 40 points in the first half total. And then came out in that third quarter and lit OKC up. The number 1 defense in the NBA for 40 points. And then they continued. They took the lead, and then OKC built a 14, they went on a 14-6 open to the fourth quarter to take back the lead, and it was now 93-89, and the Knicks were battling from behind the whole time. And the refs did not make it easy for the Knicks. They were an additional impediment. Not sure why our team is the team that gets disproportionately penalized for trying to play physical defense as opposed to other teams like Detroit and like OKC. And there was a play early on in that first quarter because Shai Gilgeous had already picked up 2 fouls, and he would have picked up his 3rd foul. And there was a egregious non-call that should have been called. And it resulted in Mike Brown getting his first tech of the season. We're going to break this game down. I'm disappointed I really thought that they were going to pull this game. I thought we had two chances in the final seconds to tie this game. Brunson got a really nice look from the left corner. Just came up short. And then we got the rebound. And it got to OG's hands above the break. And it was right in line. But those tired legs from playing last night, tonight, chasing SGA all around, the shot hit the front rim, and it was over. 103-100. But some great things happened here. Landry Shamet, he was fabulous tonight. He battled both ends. Defensively, he gave it everything he had. And offensively, he was a beast in that third quarter. We got the stats. We got the reactions. Welcome into the Knicks-Verse. Thank you guys for joining me here. If this is your first time here and you haven't subscribed yet, please do so, along with hitting the thumbs up button for me. Drop your comments. Want to hear your thoughts and feelings about this game, especially about this game. And I'm going to get into it. I'm going to go deep on this. It's worthy of it, because I really do believe. I know I said about the previous game two previous games ago against the Spurs. Spurs could end up defeating the Thunder and getting to the NBA Finals, though it's very rare that a team who's had zero playoff experience can go all the way to the playoffs in one season. It's very rare. And there's a lot of obstacles in the way. There's injuries. There's scheming. And I'm sure other teams are going to analyze the way the Knicks play Wemby. And they're going to figure out their own ways to defeat the Spurs. Thunder. Houston. There's a lot of other good teams there that could, in OKC as well. Even OKC is fallen victim to the Spurs. A lot of it is because I don't think they want to get as physical with him as they should. And they don't have Mitch Robinson. They don't have Karl Anthony Towns. That combination, that physicality really slows Wemby down. But that's a whole other story. It's for another night to discuss. It's a tough loss. I'm bummed. But I feel good about my team at the same time, if that makes sense. Like, I feel really good about it, actually. On a night where Brunson couldn't make a fucking bucket. He couldn't shoot. The Knicks were shooting, if you take Mo Diawara's numbers out in that first half, there were something from the three-point. I can't remember the exact numbers, but it was pretty atrocious. 2 of 16. They were 2 of 16 from the three-point line in the first half, if you take Diawara's numbers out. And Diawara, once again, delivering. Of course, you see how raw he is still. OKC exploited that. There were times where he turned the ball over, where if he had been a little more patient. But that's part of the learning curve. Keep throwing him out there, Mike Brown. I love that you're doing that. We even saw Jeremy Sohan get pulled off the shelf, dusted off, cheeks pinched, and put out onto the court for just a few seconds, because Ariel Hukporti has proven to me personally, and I'm sorry, Ariel, if you're listening to this, I don't even think you're a backup center in the NBA in the future. If you're showing us less this season than you showed us last season. That kind of regression is unacceptable for a player like yourself, who has the opportunity to learn by watching every night. I don't get it. I don't get it. You had 3 turnovers in that first half. You were in there for barely 3 minutes. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but you had 3 turnovers in that first half. You literally battled for a rebound beautifully. Well done. You got the rebound and then just threw the ball away. You weren't even under pressure. We're talking about playing the champions. You can't play like that against the champions, man. If you're being harassed and, and they're playing great defense, it's a whole other story. But for you to get the rebound and just like panic and just fling the ball out, I mean, that's ridiculous, bro. You're proving you're not ready. Unlike Mo Diawara, who, yes, he turned the ball over, but guarantee you he's going to learn from that. He's already shown so much he's shown more progress this season than you have shown in 2 seasons, Ariel Hukporty. All right, this is not a bitch fest on Ariel Hukporty, but it's just the reality of it. And yet the Knicks lost by just 3. And they had 2 really juicy opportunities to tie this game and send it into overtime as the shot clock was ticking down. Inbound play, Brunson gets it in the left corner, shorts it, and then OG gets it, and he shorts it, and that was the end of the game. Meanwhile, SGA drilled his. Well, that's why they're champs. That's why they have jewelry, and we don't. But there's a long way to go. This was a great preamble to what might end up being an amazing NBA Finals if both these teams get there. All right, let's go. Here we go. 103-100, the final. Jose Alvarado, he played some good minutes, but Josh Hart, man, I'm getting tired of trashing Josh Hart, but that unit with Josh Hart in it, the starting unit, just doesn't work. Doesn't work. It didn't work to start the game, and it didn't work to start the fourth quarter because the Knicks were up, and then they disintegrated and gave the lead away. And Josh Hart even got hurt as well. He had to leave the game for a little while. He came back. I think he landed on his back oddly. He came back into the game. I'm not even sure what his numbers were, but I do remember a corner 3 air ball from Josh Hart. Air ball from the corner. He's a professional player. Wow. The kind of game that Shamet had tonight is the kind of game that is going to put a lot of pressure on Josh Hart and Mike Brown, Coach Brown. How can either justify keeping him in the starting lineup when you have a guy like Landry Shamet who is delivering big buckets, big minutes for you? Delivers in 31 minutes of play tonight. Landry Shamet delivered 14 points, 2 assists, 3 rebounds. He didn't even make a 3-pointer tonight. He was 0 for 3, but still delivered 14 points. And he was the high man on the team with a plus 12. Plus 12 tonight. Now, again, plus minus, you gotta look at it over time. Some games it's not as revealing as what it really happened. But his effort is displayed by the results in the plus-minus column tonight. I loved his game. He was giving great minutes. He was attacking. He drove down the lane for 2 at that one point. They cut the deficit in the third quarter from the Knicks were down 5 to just down 3. It was 72-69. And then Brunson comes back into the game because Brunson got rocked in the nuts. The cojones got a little rattled, and he had to leave and came back. But he comes back. He buries a 3, and suddenly we're tied after once being down 15 points in the third quarter. The Knicks were down 15 points in the third quarter, and they battled back. Here we go. Here it is. 15 points in the third quarter. They battled back to tie the game, and it was tied at the end. Actually, the Knicks had a 3-point lead going into the fourth quarter, 80-77 on an awesome corner 3 buzzer beater shot by Mikal Bridges. OG comes up with a pick 6 to tie the game with 59 seconds left, and that's when Sohan subbed into the game. for Huck Borty, because Huck Borty, he looked lost out there. And at that moment, you're trying to win the game. And the Knicks outscored OKC 40-27 in that third quarter. But then when you look at, this is why OKC are the current champions right now. They knew what they had to do. They dissected it, and they had the benefit of two very helpful coaches' challenges that really swung the momentum tremendously twice. And they even went from Cat. It was whether the ball went out of bounds on Cat or not, or on Dort. It turned into a foul on Cat. That was his fifth foul. And then he picked up a terrible sixth foul on Shai Gilgeous. But you could easily have not called it, the way the physicality of this game was. But he was, unfortunately, not situationally aware at that moment. And even with that said, look at what happened here. The Knicks were able to cut this thing down to within 2, to within 3. It was 94-91. OG went down and had a monster dunk over Chet Holmgren. And that's after he hit a big three, his fourth of the game at that moment, to cut it to 93-89 with 6 minutes left. And then he had the big dunk, and it was 94-91. But then Cat fouls out. Just under 3 minutes left. And OKC built up an 8-point lead at that point. When the call got overturned, it was 192. But Jalen Brunson, big bucket Brunson, turnaround, midi, boom. Then it's 103-100, which ended up being the final score. Because the Knicks were able to stop OKC on one end, get the ball back, but they couldn't convert in those last 6 seconds. But the refs. Fuck the refs. You guys, I'm convinced the fucking refs had money on this game. They had money on the Thunder. Fuck it. I'm not gonna mince my words. Convinced of that. Totally convinced of that. Here is the play. Here is the play right here. But that's a foul.
If I'm getting a technical foul, that's the kind of play I'm getting a technical foul for. There's nothing more you can do on the part of the Knicks on that possession, and Jalen Brunson gave Shai Gilgeous-Alexander so much time to see him and still was not able to stop. Backdoor Gilgeous-Alexander.
Tim Legler and Mike Breen called it perfectly. They were not shy about it. So I'm sure the NBA is aware of this situation. This would have been the third foul by SGA. He would have had to have gone to the bench. Knicks were battling back in this game. You know, we were already down early in this first quarter. We were down. It was 2013 at one point in that first quarter. And then Mo hits a three. And Knicks go on an 8-0 run to cut it to 20-18. But that play should have put SGA on his ass for at least 10 minutes of gameplay. At least 10 minutes. And in those 10 minutes of gameplay, remember, we don't have Mitch Robinson tonight. Those 10 minutes of gameplay could have been tremendous for the Knicks. Instead, OKC ends the first quarter up 25-23, and they extend that lead in the second quarter 50-40. They go up 10 points. The Knicks had their lowest scoring first half of the season. The previous low, they had matched it 3 different times with 42 points. That's another reason why this is a bummer of a loss. Because those moments matter tremendously. Now, you're going to tell me, oh, that's just the NBA protecting itself They don't want to have the MVP be sitting on a primetime national coverage game. Well, guess what? I don't give a fuck, bro. It's a game. It's the rules. That was a charge. And no other way around it. That was a charge. And you ignored it. I think we need to institute a new rule where a coach, if he gets called on a technical, is allowed to have a non-call reviewed. How about them? How about them apples? What do you think? I like that. Shout out to the chat. We got Lex the Destroyer in the house. What's up, brother? We got El Cid. Drew's Reviews. What's up, brother? A Slow Runner. Got all the standard, the homies, the loyal. Love it. Nibbler Do. Tendril Sound. I'll check this out later. Willie Cruz is like $60 million for Cat, and he takes 5 shots a game. Bro, that's on the coach. I know you can cry. We can all cry, and the coach can cry. Oh, well, the players got to take the shots. No. If the scheme of the offense isn't set up for that, he's not going to take a bad shot. One of the reasons he's a great player is because he doesn't take bad shots. And if you don't put him in a situation where he's getting good shots, makeable shots, then what's he supposed to do? And he had a heck of a game. Got to tell you, Karl Anthony Towns, even though he was a team worst in plus-minus tonight, he had a heck of a game tonight. He finished... He had let's see here. Let's go here. Here we go. He was a team worst. He was a team worst minus 18. But he delivered 17 points, 17 rebounds. He did not attempt a single three-pointer. Now that is an atrocity. How are you going to win in the NBA when your opponent is putting up 42 three-point attempts and connecting on 16 of them, and their corresponding center, well, he's listed as a power forward here, but their center is shooting 6 of 11 from the three-point line. And your guy who is a much better three-point shooter than Chet Holmgren is doesn't attempt a single one. Now, OG got off to a rough start. He didn't make any threes. I believe he made the first three, his first shot, and I think it was the Knicks actually had their only lead in the beginning of the game. Then he didn't make another three for a long time. Then he finally connected on some. He finished 4 of 13. But Josh Hart, 0 of 3, a -9 in his 25 minutes of play. Did pick up 12 rebounds, 3 assists. But when you compare that to what Landry Shamet gives you, 5 of 9, 55% from the field, 4 of 5 from the free throw line, gets 3 rebounds, 2 assists, gives you 14 points in his 31 minutes of play. I don't understand how you can justify the starters, including Josh Hart, anymore. I know I talked about this last night, but let's just look at it again. Here we go. Let's look at these. Hopefully they have the range filter. They do. Okay. Here's the range filter. Here we go. All right, let's see how this went. All right, so Knicks were down 4 in the first 5.5 minutes. Then they were down 7. 0 for 3 for Josh in 6 minutes of play. Right there. There it is. So there it is right there. In fact, I think I got that note down. Yes. So Mike Brown called the timeout, and the Knicks were down 17-10. 17-10. Now, nobody was really making buckets here. Mikal Bridges, he was 2 of 5 from the field, but missed both of his three-point shot attempts. Brunson missed both of his shot attempts. Josh Hart had missed all 3 of his. OG was 1 of 3, the three-pointer that I mentioned. Not much was happening with this unit, but the floor spacing wasn't good, and Josh Hart had many opportunities that He blundered. He is the weak link here. In my opinion, do you believe that Josh Hart would start on OKC? Who would he be? You think they would start him over Dort? Dort, who just rained 3 after 3 for the remainder of this game. Would he start over Chet? No. Would he start over Cason Wallace? No, he wouldn't. Because Cason Wallace is a world-class, all-NBA, all-defensive team level defender. Josh Hart is not. So if you can't point to who this guy could replace on your opponent, then why is he in your lineup when you actually have, and when Deuce gets healthy, you'll have 2 bona fide options. But Landry Shamet right now should be given the starting opportunity over Josh Hart. Let Josh Hart come off the bench. Let him come off the bench. And, I mean, it just seems as clear as day to me. He should come off the bench. Especially when you look at, so then here, though the third quarter was magnificent for the Knicks. Magnificent, but a lot of it was due to, here we go, come on, to Shamet in that third quarter. All right, let's see. I haven't looked at this, so I'm going blind with you guys. I'm just curious to see how that starting unit responded to the beginning of the third quarter. But I think Josh Hart, did he start the third quarter? He did, but he had to leave because of his back problems. Okay, so this kind of proves what I was talking. So he leaves because of his back problems. Landry Shamet comes in. Look at he delivers 5 points for you. He was a high man here. It was Knicks were being outscored 15-13, but then from this point on, from the 7-minute to the end of the third quarter, we're going to look at this now. We're looking at it together. This is all live. It's the beauty of going live. You guys, yes, hit that thumbs up button for me. That'd be great. And share the video. Also would be wonderful. So you guys saw that. Knicks were down 2 in the first 5 minutes of the third quarter. And then in the remaining 7 minutes, the Knicks went on a beautiful run. Outscored OKC 27-12. Look who was the high man for that. Jalen Brunson, 8 points. Landry Shamet, 6 points. But Shamet and Mikal Bridges, a plus 15 each. Josh Hart did not play a single minute during that stretch while the Knicks took control of this game and went into the fourth quarter with a 3-point lead, 80-77. Right there. That just shows you right there. The Knicks can thrive without Josh Hart on the floor. Now, there's going to be nights where he does his amazing stuff, and that's what ends up riling up all the Josh Hart, fans. But this was a big game tonight, a game that mattered against the team you are trying to take the crown away from. Your own boss went on radio, his only interview of the season, and he said the Knicks should get to the finals and they should win. Well, this is probably most likely the opponent you're going to face. And you're going to throw out Josh Hart out there against them? Why? You don't need to. Let him come off the bench and give you that boost of his energy off the bench. And if he's making his buckets, you give him extra time. But you don't depend on that because you can't. You can't. And Landry Shamet's spacing helps. Having him in the game helps Brunson get some open looks. He hits 2 of 3-pointers. Mikal Bridges hits a 3. I think that was the corner 3. That was the corner 3 that ended the third quarter. He hit that. Nice balanced scoring right here. Towns was a plus 8. OG was a plus 12. Mikal a plus 15. Brunson a plus 11. Shamet a plus 15. Every Knick player that played in those final 7 minutes of the third quarter was a plus player. And Josh Hart didn't play a single minute of that, a single second of those final 7 minutes. Now we're going to look at the fourth quarter. Now look at this. Come on, bring it. Come on. Should have done it differently. All right, here we go. Hope it's working. This thing wasn't working for a while, which is why I wasn't using it, but I love it. Okay, so here we go. Josh, so in the first 5.5 minutes, here we go. Let's go. 5 minutes. First 5 minutes of the fourth quarter where the Knicks were up going into the fourth quarter. Come on. Here we go. So he's on the court for 3 minutes, 26 seconds. No points. Just gets 2 rebounds. Commits a personal foul, a -5. The spacing is gone. No one's making a bucket except Towns and Alvarado. And the Knicks lose those minutes 14-6. And that was the beginning. That's it, 14-6. And then from that point on, the Knicks had to battle back. It was an uphill climb. Uphill climb. There we go. Let's see this. Here's the final 7 minutes of the game. Knicks won it by 2. 10 rebounds. They crashed the glass. Now, Josh Hart was a part of that. He got 3 big rebounds there. That's when he comes through. So you just can't depend on him in the starting lineup right now. I just don't see any other way around it. Just really don't see any other way around it. The proof is in the pudding. And the pudding says Josh is not a starter on a contending team. The biggest lead of the game was 15 points for OKC. The Knicks had a 4-point lead at one time. Game was tied 4 times. The longest run was 8-0, which doesn't seem right. There were 6 lead changes. Chet Holmgren was the high man in scoring for both teams, 28 points for him. And Towns was the high man, 17 points for him. 8 rebounds for Chet and 17 rebounds for Towns. So Towns did everything he could. But he still ended up fouling out. He made major blunders. Brunson delivers 15 assists. That is wild. I think that might be his high for the season. OG had 2 blocks. He had an incredible block on Chet out on the perimeter. He blocked Chet's 3-point shot at one point. That was fabulous. This was a game of runs, a lot of runs. OKC goes on a 9-1 run, and then Knicks in the second quarter, the Knicks go on a 7-0 run, and it was snapped by Chet hitting a 3. And then OKC was up 50-40 going into the second half. Knicks start off the third quarter beautifully. Hart got hurt there. Shamet, beautiful cut through traffic for 2, and he got the and 1. He got fouled. Knicks had an 8-2 run themselves. Towns got an offensive rebound and a putback. He did it twice. Offensive rebounds and putbacks. And Shamet drives by Dort for 2 in that third quarter. There was a beautiful transition bucket where Grand Theft Alvarado, great pass to a cutting McCall for 2, and it's now suddenly it's 67-61 with 5:28 left. And Cat again comes through with another putback. And then Shamet was just giving you great minutes there. He had 13 points by that point. He drives down the lane for 2, and now it's suddenly just a 3-point game. And then Brunson hits that 3 to tie it. I really thought the Knicks were going to pull off this win. Really thought they were going to pull off that win. Knicks dominated the transition game. They were a plus 12 in fast break points tonight, 14-2. They dominated the second chance points, a plus 10, 20-10. They dominated the points in the paint, 46-20. If the Knicks had just hit their 3-point shots the way they normally do, they win this game. OKC is not a good 3-point shooting team. I think they're like 15th or 16th in the NBA, while the Knicks have the third or fourth best 3-point shooting team in the NBA. So this right here was the entire game. the 3-point shot is such a swing thing. And then you can just tell by the way the game ended. Shea steps back. OG, he like bites too hard on the dribble through that Shea had done. He stepped back. He buried a three right in his face, and the Knicks could not respond to tie the game. So that was a big bummer right there. But you can see, I mean, Knicks were pretty dominant in most of all the other categories that mattered. Oh, man. It's a rough loss. It's a rough loss. But shout out to OKC. They proved why they are the champions right now. They figured out a way to beat an opponent who could beat them. Good for them. They did it on the road. Now, they had some help from refs, as I already pointed out, but good for them. They pulled it off. They deserved. I'm not going to say they deserved to win, but they figured out how to get the win. Mike Brown on when the Knicks began playing more physical defense. Our guys are trying to be physical without fouling, and they're doing a pretty good job with it. It's been a process. We've made a switch defensively a couple months ago, but our guys are pretty comfortable with what we're doing. It didn't happen with one practice. It didn't happen because of a switch cut on. It gradually happened. And here we got Mike Brown talking about some good basketball.
Good basketball game. Thank you very much. I thought our guys, again, they could have folded at any time. We were down double digits, and I liked our competitive spirit. Our competitive spirit was great. Those guys make the game ugly, and when that happens, you got to defend and you got to try to do the little things to get a win. And our ability to crash the glass was, especially with Mitch not playing, but our ability to crash the glass and get second opportunities was there. We had 20-second chance points. You want to play fast against these guys so that you're not going against their set defense all the time. And we did a decent job of that, scoring 14 points. A good basketball game.
Yeah. Right.
Because it happened right in front of you. One of the things that I wanted to get across to the guys is we're good enough to win despite whatever the officials are calling out on the floor, and we need to have that mentality. And I give our guys a lot of credit. Last night when we were in Toronto, I don't know if I've ever been in an NBA game where it was 7 to, I think one time it was 6-0. And they picked up a foul with, I don't know, a minute left or less than a minute left. I just, very seldom see that. And our guys did a pretty good job restraining themselves. And so, the growth in that area of trying to leave the officials alone was something that I pointedly tried to do. Tonight, you guys saw it play. SGA had 2 fouls, and Jalen was there, and he ran him over, just like the call that they made on OG. I don't know. I don't understand why that was a no call, but that should have been his third. The bucket shouldn't have counted, and we should have gone the other way with the basketball. And so to see that, knowing that Jalen is standing there and he's putting his body on the line, and our guys are fighting their asses off, to try to win the ball game, and it didn't sit well with me, obviously.
And he got his first technical of the season for that. And I'm glad he did. Glad he jumped out there and gave it to those refs. Think about it. He got the bucket as well. Not only did he get the bucket, he didn't get the foul call. And this was a 3-point game. We would have not have to have gone for a 3-point shot if that bucket isn't allowed. It would have just been a 1-point game at that time. Now, you never know the way the ebb and flow of games, but still, that's the point. Every point matters. And when you make a mistake call like that, a non-call like that, it impacts the entire shape of the game. It's ridiculous. And I'm seeing at the chat here. Thank you guys for supporting my view here. Just gonna put it this way about we're talking about the fouling specifically here, but when I'm referring to here's playing this thing out as we move forward. We're going to end up the 3rd seed or 2nd seed. One of those two. It's going to happen. It's going to be that good. That'll be good. I cannot foresee us losing the first round or the second round, honestly. No team scares me in any way, shape, or form, especially in a playoff environment when we're going to have Mitch Robinson and we're going to get Deuce back. Barring any other injuries or whatever, we're healthy going in. We are going to be the team to beat in the Eastern Conference. I know people have their doubts because of the Pistons, the way they've played us, and that's legitimate to feel that way. But I'm just telling you, playoff basketball is very different. And people constantly undervalue how difficult it is to win in the playoffs when you don't have that kind of winning experience. That said, we get to the Eastern Conference Finals. If we cannot get past the Pistons and get to the finals and win in the finals, if we don't win, or if we don't make it to the finals, Josh Hart will be the reason. If he is still starting on this team and getting 35 minutes a night. He should be playing 28 minutes, coming off the bench, being a super 6-man. That's what he should be doing. When his shot's not falling, he does other things, rebound, passing, playing some, as good a defense as he can. He's not a great defender. So what does he give you? Energy? Great. That energy comes off the bench. The problem is when we're starting games, we're starting them from behind each time. It was deja vu all over again. The Knicks were down 10 against the Spurs. And they had to battle back to win that game. We're constantly playing from behind because we're starting Josh Hart. Josh Hart should not start on this team anymore. And that's all I'm going to say about that. By the end, let's praise Landry Shamet. I thought he played some fabulous minutes. If you guys watched the game, you know what I'm talking about. He was a difference maker. 14 points, 5 of 9 from the field. Didn't make a three-pointer, and he still was able to make an impact. 4 of 5 from the free throw line, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. He was a team-high plus 12 tonight. We saw that. Let's see, what else? Did I miss anything? Brown, this is James Edwards III tweeting this out. Brown, I just played that clip for you guys. Mike Brown is elite at making in-game adjustments, again, according to Drenchman Sports. Josh Hart shot the ball terribly, 4 of 14 from the field, 1 of 6 from 3. Instead of taking him out of the action, Mike Brown adjusted how he used him so Hart could still impact the game without hurting the offense. Oh, that was against the Spurs. But this. Mo Diawara hit 3 of 4 from the three-point line. We are we in the Mo the Insanity era? Diawara hits 3 of his first 3 attempts. He's been so impressive. Breen is giggling in awe. He was giggling when he hit that 3 to begin the second quarter. I think it was to begin the second quarter. Breen was like in awe of it. It was kind of cute, honestly. That's very exciting. And he's only going to keep getting better. He's going to cut out the mistakes. He's going to be a key instrument for the Knicks in the playoffs. Okay, we just watched that. Mike Brown. Okay, we saw that already. I think we're getting down to it, and we saw this play. Okay. Oh, we're gonna end it. We're gonna end the show on the captain talking about himself.
I feel like I missed a lot of shots I normally make. Gotta give them credit, but also was able to manipulate them a little bit and find other guys to make plays. And so, like I said, our defense gave us a chance to win, and usually I convert on offensive side of the ball.
You see that face? You see how bummed he is? That's because he has a heart of a champion. He is a champion. 2-time champion. He is one of the greatest players in the NBA. He knows this game could have been won. His defense did the job. He did the job. He stepped up. He took charges. He created turnovers. He fought for a beautiful turnover at one point, even though he was struggling from the offensive in the offensive end early in this game. He started off 1 of 7. He kept battling. He hits the game-tying shot. This is why I believe this Knicks team could go all the way, because of that mentality, that attitude, the spirit that this man has, the leadership he provides, the incredible play that he puts out on the court. Tonight didn't even have it, and the Knicks were right there. Imagine if we get a regular Brunson game from him, we win by 20. That's why I'm bummed and excited at the same time. It's like I got one hand in the freezer, the other hand on the stove. Overall, man, we're lucky to have him on this team. Lucky to have him. Okay, gonna wind down. You guys have been fabulous. Thank you so much for holding it down here, Lex the Destroyer. Appreciate everything you do for the channel. We got Drew's Reviews in here. We got El Cid, Trapped in the 90s once again. Love that name. What up to you? Fuck the refs is right. Carlos Guzman, what's up, man? Vent all you guys want. Yep, Lex says it right here. I still say Knicks beat Thunder in a 7-game series. I do too. I believe it because of this. I mean, look at all these things that happen. I think it's very, very possible. They were hitting threes that were unbelievable. Like Lou Dort was just draining, and Chet had a career night from 3, and they won by 3 points. That's it. And they only scored 103. The Knicks defense did their job. Our offense didn't. And that's understandable. Second game of a back-to-back. And we're also missing a key player in helping make life easier for everybody on the defensive end, especially Mitch. I think we're right on track. We're right on track. It might ultimately be better that we didn't win this game. That bitter taste of the loss, knowing how close they were, and showing the world that they are on the same tier. They proved tonight that they are equal to OKC. There's no doubt about that. Nothing you can say would ever change that at all to me. Knicks tonight proved they are on par with the current NBA champions, Oklahoma City Thunder. And they're going to have another chance, and they're going to have another chance in June. All right. I will see you around. Don't forget to join. Join the channel. Subscribe, but join if you want to support the channel. Check out the merch. Hit the thumbs up button for me, and I will see you around the Knicks-Verse. Let's get back on track and start winning again. Let's go.